So if you don't know, and I don't know how you would listen to anything at this point and not know, but Kyrie Irving obviously has not been allowed to play at Barclays Center all season. He is not vaccinated. There's a mandate, private sector, yada, yada. Now, the Knicks were at Barclays Center on Sunday, and Kyrie Irving was allowed to purchase a courtside seat and sit there as a spectator without a mask or anything else, because that is sort of how it is now. Like, they've loosened up on a lot of the rules. And it obviously has people on both sides. Just people are mad that people want to give him an excuse. Kevin Durant was like, this is ridiculous. I hope the mayor figures it out. And then there are a lot of people who with just plain old eyeballs who are like, hold on. He gets to sit there. We know he's not vaccinated without a mask. How does any of this make sense? Does anyone have an answer for me while I cough? Go.
No, none of it makes sense, obviously. And, you know, the people who've criticized it, I think Mike Wilbon comes to mind, seemed dead on.
He went off.
Yeah, he went off.
But he went off at Kevin Durant and Kyrie. And aren't we like, hasn't the narrative sort of changed a little right now? Because there are other players in the league that aren't vaccinated, but have been allowed to come and go and play. And only Kyrie's been the one. And now, like, he's right there. He's within inches of the teammates that he's supposedly not allowed to play with in that building only. Like, it's, at some point we have to bring back a little bit of logic. And right now I think we're in some weird purgatory between what once made complete and total sense, and now we're evolving into hopefully a sort of, I don't want to say post-COVID, it's still very much out there, but the next phase of whatever this has been. And like, again, I'm watching it yesterday going, this is dumb. This is really dumb. Like, he's just sitting there without a mask on. So what are we doing exactly? And I understood Wilbon's point, but a lot of players aren't there are not a lot, but there are players that aren't vaccinated, players that we know of, and it doesn't make sense to me.
I think Kyrie's counting on you having that reaction.
Well,
because we've talked about this before with him. I think he and Aaron Rodgers are playing from a similar playbook.
Okay.
I think they know that there's a significant portion of people who just kind of want to be on the side that they're presenting.
Yeah.
And so they do a little bit of sort of linguistic trickery or do something sort of stunty to get people to go, actually, I think I might kind of be with him on this one. But they are ignoring the larger point, which is like, there are rules. There are things that we just have to deal with. Like, you're skipping past the fact that you knowingly blew through the stop sign and talking about technicalities. And I think that's why smart people like you have to be like, yeah, but come on, dude. Just come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's an obvious easy fix, but he's not going to do it.
Nope.
So I guess, I mean, I'm genuinely sort of torn right now, and like, what are we supposed to do with this information? If he hadn't been allowed, look, if the building still had sort of vaccination papers were necessary, you know, whatever it was that you had to show at some point, mask, yada yada, then maybe we could sit here and be like, okay, this makes sense. But that's no longer part of it, and now it's just sort of like we're waiting, because aren't we all assuming that he's going to be cleared before the playoffs? Like, this will no longer be a story. I mean, it feels like it to me. I think they figure this out.
Are we assuming that?
I truly think so. Like, I think whatever, mayor, whoever, it gets
Eric
lifted.
Adams. Yeah, I think it'll change, probably.
And then what? Because here's the problem. When that happens, everybody who was anti-mask, anti-vaccination, they're just going to be, see, told you so. It was never about science. And I've already seen that stupid sentence 800,000 times since yesterday. And I don't even know what my answer is. Of course it's about science. Science evolves. At some point, when everyone else is vaccinated and 3 people aren't, we're past that. You don't have to get vaccinated now because, well, A, we don't care about you, and secondly, we've taken care of ourselves. And that sort of outweighs that. But like, I think Michael Wilbon went after KD, and I understood what KD was saying too. He's with me on that. He has eyeballs. He's like, why can he sit there, but he can't sit over here? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, but I mean, the league rules and the laws of a city, state, or country are different things, right?
Right.
And like we all agree that it's hard to change massive pieces of public policy. We live in a democracy. It is not that hard for the NBA to just change its rules if the commissioner and the team owners agree to them.
Right.
Get a players union involved. Boom. We don't need multiple municipalities to weigh in.
We've seen how quickly that's changed on the NFL side too. They're no longer doing any COVID protocols.
Yeah. That's the thing.
But so I think Wilbon, I don't know why we're talking so much about Mike Wilbon, but I think what he was criticizing Kevin for is, you're smarter than this, dude. You know it's not as simple as pointing out some mild hypocrisy going on in Brooklyn.
Right.
There's a whole city to think about here. The busiest city, the city where this thing started to spread in America, as we understand it. They have to think about more than Kyrie Irving's minutes.
I think the simple point is this, and if you were to try to explain it to an 8-year-old who's probably like, the bottom line is this, and I think a rule's a rule, right? That's what we're arguing. Is that I'm no longer arguing about what the rules are. I'm arguing that a rule is still a rule, and until that rule is lifted, this is where we are. And now there are a million rules that exist in life that I don't necessarily agree with, or that I think have sort of evolved into a different kind of version of said rule. And maybe that's what this is getting closer to. But right now, it's still a rule. And so until it's not, it is what it is. And I think it was just such a bizarre thing to watch yesterday. And it made me just cringe for all the people who thought this was all a mockery to begin with, because I could hear them just, see, masks never mattered. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, God, okay. There's no win here for anybody. And when Adams decides to lift it, if he decides to lift it, or, they're going to be even louder. See, it was never, again. But I just think that once the playoffs start, Kyrie will be playing at Barclays. That's my 1,000% feeling, period.